Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. That's the end with the camera because it depends which way I put my phone in it. Sorry if I don't keep eye contact. Right, I have a question for you all, and no cheating, no Googling. Have a guess first and then Google. Because I want to ask you all, do you know who invented the internet? It's quite a tricky question because although one particular man gets the credit for it all the time, it was a sort of a long culmination of many computer scientists, but largely speaking, the accepted inventor of the World Wide Web. Oh dear, pussycat fight. That's because I'm starting to make a video. Anyway, so yes, do any of you know who invented the World Wide Web? It's a big thing that I like to promote. I'll give you a clue. It's a man. And he's a big hero of mine. I remember my boyfriend years ago when the web was launched. What's up, boo? You got a cat in the garden, have you, that's not welcome? Okay, please don't shout. I'm filming. Bushy tail. Really bushy tail. Yeah, he said, there's this thing called the internet, the World Wide Web. You've got to go on it. And I thought, oh, the World Wide what? Anyway, I went on it and it was a white screen with a blinking cursor. So I just said hello. And then I got this sort of automatic reply, like text, saying, you have no authorization to be on this. This is for NASA or NATO or something like that. And I thought, whoops, felt like I was launching a nuclear bomb or something. So I just dumped it. Then about a year later, he said, here, have an email address. So I had an email address, but I didn't know anyone else who had an email address to talk to. This was sort of 1993-ish. And then bit by bit, it developed really quickly. And as I recall, the first thing that really took off, boo, please don't, I'm not going to let her out in the garden because the last thing I want is a cat fight near my blow-up jacuzzi. She's gone off red. It's really weird. It's a boy cat who looks exactly like her and she hates him coming in her garden. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, and I'll ask the question again at the end of the video. First thing that really took off on the internet was porn. The next time I looked at it, it was just full of porn, full of, not pictures, just words, lots and lots of this. Do you want to go here, that? Then there were the forums and there were the chat rooms, and you'd have pop-up advert boxes. And intimately, I'd go away, come back, go away, come back. And the internet has evolved. Now, this girl who's committed suicide because of bullying in a school and then online, it dismays me so much to see that, oh, Graham, you didn't let her out, did you? Yeah. They're going to fight near the jacuzzi. Okay, hope so. Anyway... Why is this always happening in my videos? And I'm not into editing because I'm not really got the equipment for that. Anyway, it dismays me that humanity has been given such a great gift. Now, YouTube, not just you guys, but when I watch other YouTubers' videos on lots of other subjects, the comments are just fantastic. Left, right and centre, I very rarely see comments on YouTube on any video, on any genre, whether it's a big YouTuber with millions or gazillions like PewDiePie, or whether it's a YouTuber starting out. I very rarely see the disgusting muck that I see on Twitter, for example, which, yeah, there is still muck on Twitter, or the crass stuff I used to see on Facebook. I loathe Facebook with a passion, or these other social medias. So it gives me hope that YouTube is a great community and that you guys use it in the manner in which it was invented. It wasn't just invented for scientists. It was invented for the good of humanity, for exchanging ideas and for all of us to grow as people. It was not invented to torment fellow human beings and drive them to suicide. It wasn't invented for that. So this question is really if there are any sugars out there that have ever partaken in bullying people on behalf of certain celebrities or people who are fans. Do you even know the name of the person who invented the World Wide Web and therefore gave you things like YouTube, Google, Facebook, Twitter, and other platforms where you can torment each other. So this is not directed at YouTube people really so much as maybe people who like to bully online who've stumbled onto YouTube, because I've always seen YouTube as a cut above the rest. I know that sounds very snobby, but I've always loved YouTube from the beginning. I find it quite depressing that there's this political correctness policing on these social media platforms, and yet they allow videos that drove that young lady to commit suicide. They won't take something like some dog shit like that down, but they'll happily cancel, for example, Yankee Wally or demonetize Trevor. When those people are exchanging ideas, that's a popular thing. Lots of people want to talk to them, hear what they've got to say. Their voices are silenced, and yet these politically correct platforms allow those horrible bullying videos to continue. Also, I have read all the comments so far on last night's video. Lots of stories, wonderful how some of you have managed to pull yourselves out of it. Some of you really fought like tigers for your children. Some of you are still living the nightmare. Especially a lady who's in the Western Isles with her daughter, and there are island communities, difficult to leave school. What I would say, and this is only in our circumstance, what happened with our kids, is we made the decision to take them out of school. Now, Benji was about 13 and Faith would have been 15. And the big thing I was worried about, because we didn't just do it, we all went for a family dinner and we talked about the whole situation, and they were very grown up about it. And I said, you know, it's not a question of you can just doll about in bed all day long and do nothing. You've got to now, you'll have to motivate yourselves. And when we first took them out of school, I thought, well, let's carry on doing things the way school do. It'll be an 8-hour day, you know, with so many left. And that didn't work. Didn't work at all. I was also very worried about their social life. I mean, they didn't really have social lives because of the problems at school. But I was worried they'd become introvert. Well, I needn't have worried about that at all, because far from it. I know this is expensive, but I said, well, they wanted gaming PCs. And I felt the internet, this is going to play a huge role. First, I bought them second-hand laptops, which were really slow. I got them very cheap second-hand. They weren't ideal. So we started off building one gaming PC. Now, gaming PCs are very expensive, but I do know how to build computers. I thought I'd better do a refresher course. So Benji and I went on Udemy.com. We paid $10 for an excellent course in how to build a gaming PC. Gave me a refresher. I said to him, right, we're going to search the components, we're going to buy them off Amazon, we're going to look at the bottlenecks, the pros, the cons, and we basically built him the first gaming PC for a fraction of the cost of what they wanted. They wanted £3,000–4,000 in the shops. We built his first gaming PC for about €900, which, yes, that is a lot of money, and I know if people don't have the money, that makes life difficult. We probably could have built one cheaper, but he wanted certain frames per second for certain games. But if you have a knowledge of a subject, you can involve them in doing something like that. Once they had their PCs and they were online, playing online with other kids all over Europe, all over the world, they made friends that they still have today, and some of those friends, Ben's got a particular friend, comes down and visits from Luxembourg. My daughter has friends all over the world, still, from when she was a kid. And they would really get on with them. And it wasn't just that they turned into vegetables that were playing computer games. Benji said to me once, I've got to set my alarm, I have to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, what the hell for? And he said, oh, I subscribe to NASA and they're doing a space project tonight. My daughter got into someone a history YouTube channel that can do really intense history subjects in about 5 minutes. Their brains just exploded, and they started using the internet in the spirit in which it was invented by you tell me who. So if you are struggling, if you can find some way of helping them have gaming. Gaming is really a good way they can make friends because they game live together on various things, Minecraft, GTA. GTA, some parents think is dodgy, my kids will bang into it. Then that's a really good way of them having a social life. And then the rest just comes naturally. Trust me, it does. Well, it did in our case. And they never look back. And to this day, I remember when I was a kid, adults used to say to me, school days are the best days of your life. Well, I'm sorry, no, I still say, no, they weren't. And I don't believe my kids ever will say that. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. I really feel schools, I mean, I don't know what my kids have shown me some stuff that they're teaching in schools which is sort of sexually orientated, which horrify my kids. They follow some big YouTubers, big TikTokers who are like, what the hell is going on in schools at the moment? I'm so glad my kids weren't in school during this era at all. I think it's all mind-bending nonsense. I don't know where they're coming from. I also believe that a lot of people are led by the nose by social media. I think politicians make decisions because they think social media want a certain thing. Our Chief Minister in Gibraltar, Fabian Picardo, for any failings, I greatly admire him because recently he's in the middle of some very difficult negotiations at the moment over the Gibraltar border. But recently he gave a speech and he said, my job as a politician is to make your lives better, not more difficult. And I'm really proud of him for saying that. If only more politicians could be like that, rather than thinking, well, this is popular, let's go with this for social media, this is popular, let's go for this. That is not what the internet was invented for in the first place, to influence people. I don't like the word influencers. Influence sounds like under the influence of drugs, under the influence of alcohol. Why do we now need to be under the influence of someone who's on Instagram, who's shielded behind a filter where they look perfect, but they're not? So, but the internet is an ever-evolving thing. And we hope it will improve. We are all on a big learning curve together. And also, about the hair thingy, I did look on amazon.co.uk, guys. It is more expensive in the UK. I don't know why. It's more than double the price it is here in Spain. But I did see other products that were like it, that were much, much cheaper. So you don't have to necessarily get the Tymo. It's just like a hairbrush with a straightening hot plate behind it that you just run through your hair. So the Tymo, that's not a particular name brand. I thought I'd mention that because everything costs money. And tonight I might be doing a bit of facial and stuff. I might come on camera with a face pack on and my hair in curlers because I think I might dye my hair tonight. Nothing drastic. I don't care if it goes a weird colour actually, because as long as it's straight, I don't care. It could be purple. And we're going to go out soon, and I might glam up in some crowns and stuff like that and just chat shit about nonsense and stuff. So I might do that tonight, and I might be going live tomorrow. But before saying if I'm going live tomorrow, what's the best time for you guys? Because guys in Australia have said, could it be at a different time? Because it's like really awkward for them. So if you can all tell me in relation to UK time what would be the best for you in the comments, that'd be great. And then I can figure out a good time that we can all do it together. Because I've been looking on the internet and trying to figure out what's the best time for America, Australia and the UK. Because then I think all other time zones will be in on it. So yeah, everybody's going to have a little bit of magic in their life. I'm wearing my €1 earrings and I'm going to Chino's soon. I'm going to buy another pair of euro earrings because you don't have to spend a fortune to have fun and have glamour and dress up or put a face pack on. So we'll see what happens later. I'll see how I feel. I'll see what I can find at Aldi and scare you all to death later. As always, thank you for listening. And without Googling, I'll ask once again, what was the name of the man who invented the World Wide Web? Look forward to seeing you below.